Oh, that's a big fish. That's a big fish. Nice and easy, nice and easy.
Yeah.
That's a stud, baby. That's a stud, bro. Welcome to my channel, and today we're gonna show you how to catch some monster flounder like these, baby. Woo! Game time. We're gonna go over 3 easy rigging tactics to get you hooked up on some big flounder. Number 1 is gonna be a popping cork setup with a live shrimp. Number 2 is gonna be your live bait setup. We fish live mullet as well as mud minnows with this rig. And number 3 is gonna be your artificial setup. So we're gonna dive into each one of these rigs, how we use them, and what techniques, reeling techniques, that you're gonna use to get hooked up into some big fish. So let's dive in, let's go.
All right, guys, for our popping cork rig, we have 30-pound fluorocarbon, about 2 foot of it, a small egg sinker to keep that bait down, and a size 6 treble hook. We're gonna throw up current here along these rocks. Trick is to allow that bait to drag bottom. It's pretty much a fish finder rig. It does all the work for you. As soon as the flounder hits, the cork's either gonna stop or it's gonna slowly go under, and wait a few seconds, set the hook, and got you a big old flounder on the line.
Let's get it. Lance is hooked up on the popping cork. Oh, that's a big fish. That's a big fish. Nice and easy, nice and easy.
Yeah.
That's a stud, baby. That's a stud, bro. That is a stud. Oh, God, Nick. Oh, them popping corks really work, son. Dude, game time. That is a beautiful fish.
Big fish.
Can't beat that, baby. Oh, good one. Got him. Yep. So with this artificial rig, we're throwing 30-pound Power Pro braid, and we do a uni knot to 30-pound fluorocarbon leader. This is a really great size when targeting big flounder. And then what we use is a 1/4 ounce jig head. This 1/4 ounce jig head seems to be perfect when you're working shorelines or structures. It keeps that bait nice and low to the bottom in the strike zone for those big flounder. Last but not least, this is a 4-inch mud minnow. This is a pearl white from Berkeley Gulp, and this is my bait of choice when looking for big flatfish. This is a lure that you can't beat right here. So let's see if we can get hooked up on our artificial rig. Now with these, we're gonna work this shoreline. You're gonna cast out, and once that bait hits, you're gonna let the artificial rig sink all the way to the bottom. You're gonna do a very slow retrieval. So just like so, you're gonna bounce right across the bottom until it feels like it. I think I got a fish. I got one. Oh. So that's how you catch a flounder right there, guys. That was not rehearsed necessarily, but it works. So check it out. That works awesome. Little guy, but a lot of fun. So we cast it out there. We're gonna do a slow retrieval, and you're just gonna go bounce, reel, bounce, reel. And basically your job is to just work this bait as naturally as you can, bouncing across the ocean floor until you feel like it gets snagged on something. When you do, you're gonna lift the rod tip up and you're gonna set that hook. If it feels like you're dragging something when you lift that rod tip up, just go ahead and follow through, set the hook, and you're gonna get yourself a nice little flounder like this. Hopefully a little bit bigger flounder. But man, how cool was that? We're gonna let this guy go. All right, that's how you use an artificial rig.
That's a monster fish.
Woo! Game time, baby.
Yes, sir.
That is a monster flounder right there.
Beautiful.
Hit the old gulp. 4-inch mud minnow, baby. Mwah! Last but not least, this is our live bait setup, and we're using 30-pound fluorocarbon. This is a 1/4 ounce slider weight. This is a 1/0 size 1/0 Kale hook. This is an awesome setup when you're fishing rocks, structures, bulkheads, piers. All these places are really great ambush points for big flounder. What they'll do is they'll back up into that structure and wait for that live bait to swim by and look all nice and pretty. They don't want to exert too much energy, so they wait for that bait to get right in front of them. They'll open their mouth, strike, and sit back down in their bed. So Essentially, we're just replicating live bait out here, getting it as close to the structure as we can. What I tell my customers to do in this situation is once their bait lands out there, we'll let it sink to the bottom, and every about 30 to 45 seconds, I encourage them to reel it in about a foot. And that keeps that mullet moving across the bottom and bringing it into new territories and strike zones where there might be more flounder in between the boat and your initial cast.
Get him over in the net. Got him.
All right, guys, absolute amazing day on the water with my bro Lance. We caught some massive, massive flounder using those 3 easy rigging tactics. But now is the fun part. We get to dive in. We're gonna fillet these 2 different ways. One is gonna be completely filleted off the skin. You could fry it, bake it, grill it, whatever you wanna do. And the next method is going to be actually deboning the flounder so you can stuff this bad boy with crab meat, shrimp, whatever else you want to. So let's dive in to these 2 easy methods on how to prep these flounder for the perfect dinner. Let's get it. So number 1 we're gonna do is to prepare this flounder for stuffing. First things first, we're gonna scale the top. And basically I'm just putting 2 fingers right here in the gill plate to hold him. And hold him at an angle, working that knife up. And this is gonna reduce the fishy taste that you get from baking this flounder. And a lot more easy to peel that skin back once it's actually done. So that should be just fine right there. Next, we're gonna make what's called a T-cut. Start right here at the top of his head and almost make a U around his gill plate, just like so. Next, we're gonna make the cut all the way down his body. And basically I'm pressing the tip of this knife down until I can feel his bones right there. And I'm just gonna work all the way down from the top, all the way to the tip of his tail, just like so. Next, we're gonna go to the very top of this T. We're gonna angle this knife and basically press and slide down the fillet, just like so. And each slide is getting me closer and closer to the very edge of this flounder. We want to be very careful not to go through, but as close as we can to this outside fin here, just like so. Okay, we're gonna do the same exact thing on this side. Put the knife in, and we're just working down their bone, their cage here. And I use this thumb here as leverage to kind of help, and I'll pull and slide the knife at the same time. Just remember to keep that angle down. That way you're getting all the meat off the bones there, just like so. Okay, now that we've got this looking nice and pretty, we're gonna flip it over, do the same exact thing to the other side, make our U-cut, and then straight down with the knife. Now what you'll notice is the bigger the flounder, the easier it is to fillet this backside here. If it's a real small 14, 15-inch flounder that doesn't have a lot of meat on it, you're gonna have a little bit of trouble here. But this is the perfect one. It's probably a good 20-incher, real nice and fat, so. All right, same exact thing on this side, guys. Working down those bones, all while being very cautious not to push through to that other side. Okay, so we've got 4 sides here, filleted, butterflied open, and now it's time to take these bones out of the fish. So what we do is we grab the top fillet and bottom fillet, and we hold it up like so, and we're gonna find this very weak point. It's gonna be very close to the middle. We're gonna poke the knife through, just like so, and we're gonna literally push this knife down to its tail, one fast motion, just like so. We'll flip the knife around, hold the flounder like so, and now all we have to do is push down, just like that. All right, that's one side done. Same exact thing with the other side. We're gonna grab the bottom fillet, grab the top fillet, hold the flounder, stick the knife in, push down, just like so. Now the other way, down to the tail. Now, all you gotta do is break it real nice and low, right there by the tail. And that is a debone flounder. And so when you go to cook this beautiful thing, you've got your white sides on the bottom. And look at that. You can fill this sucker up with whatever you want, crab meat, Ritz crackers, cream cheese. Man, you name it. Close it up, stick it in the oven, and you have a completely deboned flounder prepared and ready to eat to perfection. So next is gonna be very similar method using the T-cut, but this time we're gonna fillet all the way through. And this is gonna be perfect for frying these fish. We're gonna go ahead and start the U-cut using the exact same technique that we used to butterfly the fish, except this time you go all the way through, stick the knife in, and slide up, just like so. And I'm leaving a good amount on here, that way we can fillet it right off the skin there. Just like so. Same thing here. All the way through. All right. And you flip it over, do the exact same thing on the other side. You're gonna end up with two beautiful looking fillets, just like so, ready to cook to perfection. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We had a blast out there going and catching big flounder. If you like this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button below and stay tuned for more epic monster fishing action.